Hey, this is Professor Perez from Saddleback College. Today, we're going to work on problems that have multiplication with fractions. Oh, what fun! In part one of this video, we're also going to use number lines to try to give a visual representation of what we're actually doing. And then in part two, we're just going to run through the calculations. So before we get started, let's get out Charlie. He better be ready to go. Hey, Charlie, you ready to go? All right. Doing some more fractions. So here we go, right there. 2/3 times 4, Charlie. Now, you remember when we first introduced multiplication, we introduced it as addition. So I don't want the answer. I want to know, what does 2/3 times 4 actually mean? 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. That's right. Now notice, all the denominators are the same. Remember, whenever you're adding or subtracting fractions, you must have all the denominators the same. Okay, Charlie, so how do we add these fractions together? What do? Put a bar with a 3 on the bottom. Okay, fraction bar with a 3. And now we're supposed to add numerators. So let's bring out our number line, and let's do it on the number line. We're going to take 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. And what do we get, Charlie? 8/3. 8/3, and there's the arithmetic right there, right? Okay, now let's do same problem, but we're just going to run through the arithmetic. Now, 2/3 times 4, Charlie. First of all, how do we write 4 as a fraction? 4 over 1. Put it over 1, that's right, because 4 divided by 1 is 4. Now, how do we multiply fractions, Charlie? Straight across the top, straight across the bottom. That's right, that's what we do. Well, notice, we'll put our fraction bar there. Now, let's look at the denominator first. 3 times 1. What is 3 times 1, Charlie? 3. 3, of course. The denominator is going to remain the same whenever you take a fraction by a whole number, because when you write the whole number as a fraction, you're going to have a 1 on the bottom. So obviously, 3 times 1 is going to keep the denominator as 3. And what's 2 times 4, Charlie? 8. 8/3, and there you have it. So our answer is 8/3. So here we did it with the number line, and over here we did it with arithmetic. Now, in part 2 of this video, we're just going to do the arithmetic part. But in this video, we're going to use some number lines. Okay, Charlie, let's go to another problem right there. Here is a number line, right? Here's 0, and there's 4. Now, we're going to look at 1/3 times 4. Now, some people like to say this as a word statement, and they say 1/3 of 4. What is 1/3 of 4? Well, what does that mean? That means take 4 and break it up into 3 pieces. And that's what we did right here, right? Now, Charlie, what do you think 1/3 of the 4 is? 4/3? That's right, it is 4/3. Now, let's look at multiplication. 1/3 times 4 as an addition problem. What does 1/3 times 4 actually mean, Charlie? 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. That's right. 4 of them being added together. Now let's do the arithmetic. We have 1/3. How do you write 4 as a fraction, Charlie? 4 over 1. That's right. And then you multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. And what's 1 times 4, Charlie? 4. And 3 times 1? 3. That's right. It is 4/3. So 1/3 times 4 is 4/3, or you can say 1/3 of 4 is 4/3. So we use a number line for it. Now, Charlie, here's a question for you. If 1/3 of the 4 is 4/3, what is 2/3 of a 4? 8/3. Should be 8/3, right? Well, let's work it out. 2/3 times 4. You can say it as a word statement, 2/3 of 4. How do you write 4 as a fraction, Charlie? 4 over 1. That's right. Multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom. What's 2 times 4? 8. And what's 3 times 1? 3. It is 8/3. So there you go. 2/3 times 4 is 8/3. Or 2/3 of 4 as a word statement is 8/3. All right, Charlie. So 1/3 of 4 is 4/3. 2/3 of 4 is 8/3. What's 3/3 of 4? 12/3? Yeah, it should be 12/3, because basically that's 3/3 times 4 means 1 times 4. It should be 4, but let's do the arithmetic. Write 4 as a fraction. Multiply across the top, across the bottom, and you'll see 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, and you do get 12/3. There's a pattern here, right? Here's 1/3 of 4, 2/3 of 4, 3/3 of 4. Now, Charlie, what's 4/3 times 4? Based on what we've seen here, what should 4/3 times 4 be? 16/3? Should be 16/3, that's right. Well, let's do it. 4/3 times 4 over 1, multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom, and you do get 16 over 3. There it is. It is 16/3. Now, yes, Charlie, what's your question? What about the 0? All right, what about the 0? Well, let's do 0/3 of 4. Now, Charlie, what does 0 divided by 3 equal? We talked about this when we did division. 0 divided by 3 is what? 0. Is 0. But we're writing it as a fraction, 0 over 3. Remember, 0 on the top and a non-zero number on the bottom of a fraction means it's 0. Okay, Charlie, how to write 4 as a fraction? 4 over 1. And multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. And notice we get 0 over 3, which is 0. So this is what we did, Charlie. Watch. 0/3 of 4, or 0 times 4 is 0. 1/3 of 4 is 4/3. 2/3 of 4 is 8/3. 3/3 of 4 is 12/3, which is 4. And 4/3 of 4 is 16/3. Or 4/3 times 4, rather. Okay, let's move on, Charlie. Let's do 1/2 times 8/3. Now, before we do this, Charlie, suppose you have 8 apples, and somebody takes half of your apples away. How many apples do you have? 4 apples. That's right. So, if you had 8/3, and somebody took half of your 8/3 away, how many thirds do you have? 4/3. Should be 4/3, that's right. As a word statement, a half of 8/3 should be 4/3. Same thing, a half times 8/3 should be 4/3. Well, let's do some of the arithmetic here, and let's use a number line. There's 8/3 over there, Charlie. Now, half of 8/3 means break it up into 2 pieces. And each piece should be 4/3, right? That's what we were just thinking about. Well, let's move over on the number line to half of 8/3, which should be 4/3. All right, let's do the arithmetic now. We multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. And notice, what's 1 times 8, Charlie? 8. And what's 2 times 3? 6. We get 6. So we have 8/6. Well, look at your number lines here. 8/6 reduces to what? 4/3. 4/3, that's right. So remember the last videos we were reducing. Now, what number divides evenly into an 8 and a 6, Charlie? 2. A 2. So we'll divide top and bottom by 2. Remember, whatever you divide the top by, you must divide the bottom by the same number. And what's 8 divided by 2? 4. And 6 divided by 2? 3. Is 3. So 1/2 times 8/3, or half of 8/3, is 4/3. There it is in the arithmetic. There it is on the number line. All right. Well, let's do the arithmetic again, and we'll be doing a lot of this in the next video, part 2. Now watch, Charlie. 1/2 times 8/3. What we're going to do is we're going to reduce before we multiply across the top and across the bottom. Now, some people refer to this as cross-canceling. Watch, you'll see what I mean. When you reduce fractions, Charlie, remember, you have to have a number from the top, and you must have a number from the bottom, right? Now, notice, we have an 8 and a 2. Both 8 and 2 are both divisible by 2, right? And so, watch. 8, we're going to divide that 8 by 2, and 2 divided by 2. And what's 8 divided by 2, Charlie? 4. And 2 divided by 2? 1. Is 1. So notice, on top, remember, we multiply straight across the top. On top, we have a 1 times a 4, Charlie. And on the bottom, we have 1 times a 3. And notice, we're going to continue our work. What's 1 times 4? 4. And 1 times 3? 3. And we get 4/3. So we're going to do a lot of those problems in the next part 2.